You know when we're ready? Okay, thank you. Well, welcome everybody. I'm Robert Kennedy. I go by Sean. I teach U.S. history. I've done so at this college for 17 years. And we're going to talk about specification bundling grading today. At the risk of overselling this, I've been doing this for about a year and a half, and I can attest to my own personal experience. This is truly revolutionary. It changes the whole game. That word empowering is chosen very specifically to describe what's going on here. It not only empowers students, but it also empowers the teacher. Just to give you a sneak peek of what I'm talking about, I no longer have conversations about points, percentages. Can I do a little bit of extra credit so I can get that A? We talk about content. We talk about existential issues pertinent to U.S. history. I teach U.S. history. So, and I've yet to meet anybody who has adopted this and said, it was a train wreck, I'll never do that again. In fact, it's the opposite. The person, I came across this serendipitously. There was a book I was reading, it was a theology book. So I got a hold of the professor out of Seattle. Her name is Dr. Carrie Frost. And so I was looking up her contact information, and what do you think comes up first for all of us? What's the first link? RateMyProfessor.com. And I should have brought up her link to show you, but so I was like, well, what the hell? I'll see what she's all about. And everybody was saying, great teacher, but in every single comment, and there was about 20 of them, I love bundling. I love bundling. More bundling, please. I like the bundling. Please, more bundling. And I was like, well, what in the heck is this bundling thing? So I did another Google search before I emailed her. And yeah, there's lots of information about bundling out there. And so I got a sense of it. And so I contacted her and asked my questions about her publication. And then I asked her, what's this bundling I'm hearing about that's all the students are praising you for? And she wrote back, I asked her if we could meet up, if we could, do a Zoom call, and she graciously said yes. And what she indicated to me is, I've been doing this for 4 years now, and I will never go back to percentage points-based grading. And that seems to be the consensus for anybody who's ever tried that. So it's definitely an avenue for empowering students as well as educators. Film is coming out of the reel. I'll have you be my clicker, Krista.
Oh, I just need to click. Okay, try it now.
There we go.
There we go. Okay.
So the first question I want to ask for people in this room and for people in the chat, is your current grading system a labyrinth of points, percentages, and endless grading? Grade discussions, oh, there's the clicker. A relentless barrier to true student learning. So what is your guys' experience with points?
Yes to all that.
Yeah, it's a mess. It's confusing, especially, I've had professors who would have a point system, 842 points is what we're having this semester. And your quizzes are worth 14 points, your midterm is worth 70 points, and you're like, oh, I have to do the math now? And so you never know what anything is worth. And so what I think students just do is it's zero. What's ironic about this is it's a binary system, the specification. But with points and percentages, I think they approach it as zero sum. It's either I'm going to pass this or fail this. So either I'm going to stay up all night and work myself to the bone, or I'm not going to try at all. And I wish, like I'm a history major, so math wasn't my strongest subject. So, and gosh, this would have been great if I had a math instructor who incorporated bundling. Because then what does it take to get a C in this class, man? And that you can lay out very specifically in one little table. This is what it takes to earn a C. This is what it earns. This is what earns a B, and this is what earns an A. So, yeah, I don't think this discussion actually requires a very long discussion. I think we are all under the same sentiment that grading with points and percentages just doesn't work. It's confusing. It's hard to keep track of. And forget about applying extra credit, especially in Blackboard. That's a mess. I still haven't figured that out. And I'll let you guys know later how I've made extra credit quite seamless in a little bit. So an introduction to basically what we're going to be talking about in this presentation. And in chat, please let me know if you have any questions at all. Sabrina will let me know. So we'll look at the 4 main principles of specification bundling grading, benefits of spec grading, possible challenges, because there are challenges. Communication is probably the biggest challenge. How to implement it, and resubmissions and retakes, which is a key component of specification gradings. You absolutely have to allow resubmissions based on a token system, which I'll explain later. And then I have additional resources. The PowerPoint has been shared in the chat, so you can, it's on the last slide. You can check out those on your own. So an introduction, definition of specification bundling grading. Specification bundling grading combines mastery grading, competency-based grading, and contract grading into one system using binary, pass, fail, complete, not complete, satisfactory, choose your poison, right? Criteria for assignments and assessments. The primary goal is to ensure students meet the explicit learning objectives set for the course. And learning objectives that finally make sense, right? They're not bureaucratic learning objectives. For 17 years, I've been hearing about learning objectives and have been very hesitant to incorporate it into my curriculum. Now I do. They're integral to my course now. Emphasizing mastery of the content rather than point accumulation. And just a word on point accumulation or percentages, what that does, at least in my experience, is it's one further abstraction. We live in a world of abstractions. Our reality has been abstracted. We're chasing money, status, power, grades, and it gets in the way of learning. So simplifying it, it's either pass or fail based on very specific learning objectives within a single column rubric, which I'll show you guys in a little bit, is basically the whole point of this. And the main distinction, the grading approach uses clear, pass-fail, binary specifications for assignments instead of traditional point-based grading, providing transparent and objective assessments. The elements of specification bundling grading: clear learning objectives. It establishes explicit, measurable learning objectives that align with course outcomes to effectively guide assessments and manage student expectations. Real important, and again, we're handed down learning objectives, but as you guys will see, when you create, the first step to creating an assignment is to come up with learning objectives, and then you base it off of that, and it gives you the power to come up with learning objectives that make sense for any particular assignment or assessment. It's binary pass-fail criteria, so it employs pass-fail criteria for assignments, and that's it, right? There's no, it's worth 20 points, 40 points, or this is 30% of your grade. For me particular, every assignment has a standard of 85%, which I don't talk about to students. If they ask, obviously I will tell them. But when they take an assignment, when they attempt an assignment, then they have to look at the grade book after the assignment is submitted, and it either says, in my class, not complete or complete. Thus circumventing the need for partial credit or especially unproductive discussions regarding the valuation of minor assessments. I got a C or a 70% on this pop quiz. Am I going to fail the class, right? What are we talking about here, right? Especially if I've taught the DEMSA students in a previous lifetime, and those students are overachievers, and if they get a C on a quiz that is worth 0.5% of the total grade, you're having a half an hour, 45-minute discussion with these future doctors and brain surgeons, right? Highly intelligent overachievers. This helps them take their shoulders down. I either complete it or I didn't complete it. And then you allow for multiple attempts, which I'll talk about in a little bit. Bundled assessments. Organize tasks into bundles or tiers, enabling students to achieve varying grades by fulfilling progressively demanding requirements, which I'm going to open up these links in a second, and I'll show you what all of this is based on. How I implement it. And that's something to keep in mind. This is not a template. It's going to look different for everybody, right? So the way I do it, I've had instructors say, hey, can I just get your Blackboard and copy and paste it into one of mine, which you're perfectly welcome to do, but you're going to finesse it so it fits your curriculum. So it fits your way of teaching and presenting your content. Yeah, so yeah, it's not a one size fits all at all. And specification rubrics, developing rubrics incorporating specific single criteria pass or fail indicators to streamline grading processes to ensure consistent evaluation. So let me open up some of these links here. Hopefully this works. And man, this is a great classroom. I think I might. I have my own classroom in the P building, which is my classroom that other faculty sometimes borrow, but I might take this one up. So let's see. Okay, so if I just drag this over here, we should be able to see it. Just okay. So this is for clear learning objectives. Oh, that's not the one. Okay, let's see what this one does. Okay. So this is basically incorporating both binary pass-fail criteria and specification rubrics. This document here, this is an assignment that I refer to. Oops, I don't think I should have done that. Here we go. Okay. So this is a bundle one summary. So as the instructions indicate here, submit this document with your handwritten and handwritten. This is a way of mitigating AI. Stop allowing your students to upload documents to Blackboard, unless you want to be a victim. So my online students take images of their clearly written responses to all written work in my classes, and my students hand in handwritten assignments, right? It doesn't erase AI, the potential of use of AI, but the way I see it, if you have a clearly, and I'll have my rubric down below, I'll show you in just a second, but if you have a clearly articulated rubric that requires them to specify their sources, and the sources are very specific that are linked to the Blackboard course, it's very easy to detect AI, because they're obviously getting information from God knows where. And so your rubric is going to take care of that. And even if they do use AI, well, at least they're engaging with the content, right? They're handwriting what they copied and pasted from who knows where and going, who's this Andrew Jackson guy? Wow, he's pretty interesting. He didn't know how to read or write and he dueled? Cool. So that's actually, a lot of people have been bristling about the rise of AI in education. Actually, I've been very excited about it because I was on autopilot. I was just showing up, teaching, and I didn't realize that the whole point of teaching is to have students engage with the material. And so what AI compelled me to do is have an internal conversation with myself. how do I actually get them to engage with the material? Well, requiring them to handwrite is one way. There's many ways, but that is one very effective way. So I don't mean to be too strident about that, but if it sounds cool to you, I would recommend requiring your students to handwrite and never have them upload a document to Blackboard. Okay, the summary will be graded in 2 days. An incomplete response can be revised for 50 EDCMs. EDCMs in my class, that stands for effort, dedication, and character money. I forgot my little pink bank, my little pink cash box, and I bought probably like $200 worth of fake money. And when students walk into my class, they receive anywhere from $1 to $20, which they can exchange that for excused absences, which I don't entertain doctor's notices or anything like that. You get 2 to 4 free absences, no questions asked. You don't have to explain to me unless you want to, that's fine. And anything beyond that, then it's just business. You pay me $50 and you get an excused absence, and you can get up to 3 of those. So essentially a student, so basically you get 2 absences for an A, 3 for a B, 4 for a C. And then anything beyond that, for whatever letter grade a student is intending to earn, they pay me 50. And so if you're trying to earn a C, you can miss up to 7 classes, right? No questions asked, and it's nice because I'm not playing the cop, right? It's just business, nothing personal, so it works out. But anyway, let's get back to the summary. So they can revise this if they pay me 50 EDCMs within 2 days. Failure to resubmit within this time frame will result into no credit. Revisions apply to both your chosen prompt and the Incidents of Life of the Slave Girl prompt, chapters 1 through 8. And the revision is redoing it. So you don't want them to write in the margins their corrections. You got to do the whole thing over again. Sometimes I make exceptions if it's just a minor shortcoming in their submission. But yeah, if they did cite correctly, if they left out components of the essay prompt, they got to do the whole thing over again. So the fact that they got to pay for the revision motivates them to do it right the first time. And the fact that they have to do the whole thing over again also motivates them to do it right the first time. And once you get past the first summary or whatever assignment, it's amazing. I almost have 100% completes now, because they don't want to lose their money, because they can use that money for other things in the course, which I'll show you later. All right. Okay, and so we're moving on here. So blah, blah, blah. To earn a complete, your essay must go beyond simple summarization. So, okay, I don't have to go through all that. But here's the prompts they can choose from, right? And then they have, so that's part 1. And then part 2 is dealing with Incidents of the Life of the Slave Girl. It's a very so these are very specific prompts. They choose one of these. And this is a very general prompt that throughout the semester they write about the oppressed and the oppressor, and they have to analyze examples of colonization, right? Just specific to this assignment. And so you guys can respond to these prompts on your own time and turn them in, and maybe you'll get some EDCMs for it. Okay, so here's where specification grading is. This is the rubric. This is the rubric. And what I do is I just check boxes. Did they write the prompt? Check. Did they respond to the prompt? Check. Do they respond as instructed specifically to Incidents of the Life of the Slave Girl? Check. Ensured specific references to the subject material? Note. Avoid using terms like, oops, that's, oh, I got that backwards. My poor students. Well, I'll have to fix that. Avoid using terms like Native Americans. Instead, use the correct term, Arawaks, right? Don't use terms like Europeans. Are you talking about the Spaniards, right? Don't use words like, so on and so forth. Right, you get it. So I'm glad I read that today. My poor students are hopelessly confused. Okay, length and formatting. The entire page must be within 800 to 1200 words. Source integration. Ensure sources are for provided bundles. The provided bundle, secondary sources, 3 direct references, so on and so forth. Primary sources, 2 direct references. Class discussion, 1 direct references. So I just simply check those boxes. And if one of those boxes isn't checked, it's incomplete and they have to revise it. Literally, what do I have? About 180 students. Grading takes me maybe 45 minutes. And I'm able to put comments in the margin. Yes, nice, good insight here. But I'm not, because I don't know about you guys, but when I create rubrics at the beginning of the semester and then I go to look at them, like, what the hell am I asking here, right? There's too many boxes. This simplifies it. And the students greatly appreciate it because it's all in one little line there. They can easily see what exactly they need to do. And you can make it as specific as you need to. And I would encourage you to make it as specific as you need to. Okay. So that is that. Let's go back. How do I do this? Okay, here we go.
And all this is done on paper.
Handwritten, yeah, on paper.
And they you give it back on paper.
They got to staple that document to their handwritten submission so I can check the boxes. If they don't, I don't accept it. And again, student, yeah, that assignment, maybe 25% of the students got an incomplete, a not complete, but the rest of them got completes. And now it's rare that a student doesn't get a not complete on it. All right, a complete on it, sorry. Okay, let me open up this right here. Okay, cool. Oh, that's the same thing, dang it. Okay, sorry guys. I'm getting a not complete for this presentation.
We have a comment in the chat from Renee. I also asked for handwritten assignments.
Yes. Man after my own heart. Great minds think alike. Okay. So let me bring up what I mean by a tiered system. I'm going to click bundle 4 since that's what we're working on in class today. So for bundle 4, this is what the first link within Blackboard that they're clicking on within the module of bundle 4. And again, this is not a template. This is going to look very different for you, the way you design it. But to earn a C for bundle 4, you complete B4.1, the Early Republic, B4.2, Instance of Life of the Slave Girl, chapter 17 through 36, and B4.3, the Jacksonian era. And the due date for bundle 4 is November 21st, and that only applies to, and this is just my personal approach to it, it only applies to the C bundle. The grades, the bundles for B or an A are 100% flexible. They can turn them in as late as December 12th, the last day of the semester, I believe. And that's true for bundles 1 through 5. So there's students still submitting work from bundle 1 that we are working on in September. This gives them a lot of flexibility. It empowers them. It still motivates them to get bundle C done. And then this is where tokens or EDCMs come into play. I try to instill soft skills. So if you submitted a day early, you earn 15 EDCMs. If you turn it in a day early and you completed the assignments for a B, it's 100, for an A, 150. And they have to redeem that in my office so I can go over it in their grade book and all of that. Okay, and then so as it indicates here, that what you see there is the assignments that are required for a B, for a bundle 4 for a B, and right here for an A, right? So this is where students get empowered. It's very clear what they need to do to earn a C, B, or an A, and I don't offer Ds in my course. If a student is on the border, like they, either way, they almost failed the class, I'm gonna give them a D. If they are, you know, 69% behind the scenes, then of course I will offer them the D. But as far as they when they're working in the semester, these are the only 3 grades. But yeah, it's very clear what they need to do for every module within Blackboard course. They do those assignments. They're either complete or they're not complete. And what happens is, yeah, students in the classroom talk about the content. They come to my office and they talk about the content. They rarely come in and talk to me about their grade down. Rarely. Students that do are typically the students that aren't showing up to class and have no idea what's going on. So God help those students, right? But for the students that are there regularly, it takes a good 2 or 3 weeks because it is novel. That's the drawback on this. It's a novel idea. And students, first few weeks are going, what in the heck? I recommend doing a first day workshop. So give them no more than a 10-minute presentation and then give them specific questions. Make sure your syllabus is very detailed or give them some sort of document that's detailed and say, okay, you guys work on questions 1 through 5, 6 through 10, so on and so forth, and then go around and get each other's answers. So get their hands on it. So what I say is today you guys want to be confused. It's okay to be confused on the first day, the first couple of weeks, but we want to get past that. So yeah, very, very streamlined. So let me take a look at what else I can include in here. Let me go back here. Oops. I think I was here, yes. They're bundled binary. Oh, actually, dang it, sorry guys. Let me bring this up here. So the last thing I'll share with you, unless I'm forgetting, as far as the components of bundling, is yeah, this is what it looks, this is what they're aiming for. That's what it takes to earn a C. Complete bundles 1, 2, 4, and 5 for a C. They don't have to do bundle 3. 1 bundle summary. And at the end of the semester, your attendance grade is marked okay attendance, which is no more than 4 absences. And then you have the learning objectives there, which I can clearly align with the assignments for students working on assignments for a C. For a B, 2 bundle summaries completed, bundles 1 through 5 for a B. So every one of their bundles need to be completed for a B. And at the end of the semester, your attendance grade is marked as good attendance, which is no more than 3 absences. And for an A, bundles 1 through 5 for an A, 3 bundle summaries completed, final paper, so I don't require that for students who are seeking to earn a B or a C. And at the end of the semester, your attendance grade is marked as outstanding attendance, which is no more than 2. So let me know if there's any questions. I'll gladly entertain any questions if you give me some money, some EDCMs.
Okay, what does EDCM stand for? Effort?
Dedication, EDC, character. Effort, dedication, and character. That's what we're building in my course. You're putting in some effort, you're dedicated, and last but not least, you're exercising your character. I'm not developing anybody's character. Everybody has character, but that's something you gotta. If you want big muscles like me, you gotta go to the gym, and if you want good character, you gotta exercise for it. You gotta do things that develop your character. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Where is open link? Here we go. Okay, so this is the token element for my course, which could look very different to you. I actually use money that I purchase on Amazon. Yeah, I wish I brought my pink box, but I didn't. Here we go. And some people don't use tokens. I highly recommend using some portion of tokens. Some people, it's very limited how they use tokens. They'll just specify if you submit things early. Sometimes instructors will just say, here's $100, and that's all you get this semester. You don't have to earn it. But I have a system where students earn their EDCMs. So daily attendance, when they walk into class, they get 1 to 20. You must arrive on time, and sometimes I'll give extra money. If you stay for the entire class, right? How annoying is it when a student just gets up and leaves and then comes back to the class with a liquid death or some crackers? Like, you couldn't have waited for 20 more minutes, right? So, and yeah, it's very distracting, but I don't have to play cop. And what's great about this is, and I don't know why I was surprised about this, but students are incredibly honest and hold themselves accountable. So the first couple of weeks I would have to tell students, hey, you're leaving, give me 20. But now they just walk by my desk, plop 20, they're gone, 5 minutes, come back. They maybe have to take a phone call, text somebody, or they come back with their big gulp and they're ready for some more action. Submitting and completing bundles at least 1 day early, C, B, or an A. You redeem those in my office, 50, 100, 150. In-class work, so yeah, and this is great. The in-class work, this is where the juice is at. So instead of having some sort of rubric, everybody's names, and you're like, what's your name again, right? When somebody says something insightful that contributes to the discussion, here's a 20, here's a 5, here's a 10. And guess what? Guess what my class discussions look like? They are vibrant, they are exciting. We talk about this thing called history. It's amazing. I wake up every day now going, I cannot wait to go teach in my class. Truly, because my students are just motivated because they're earning money. I'll show you what they get exchanged this for in a second. So I have this right here. This is basically extra credit. They can do in-class presentations. And I have a caveat in there for the artists. So if they want to present their sculpture, write a song, a painting, something associated with history, associated with something we're studying with, they can earn up to 100. Reflections on a summary from the assigned bundle, they can earn up to 50. And then I like to take walks, so I invite my students. And so I'm in the P building, I'm the Pecan campus, so we walk to the J building and back, and that's 1 mile. And so if you ever see me with a gaggle of students behind me or surrounding me, that's what we're doing. We're going for a walk, and they earn 30 EDCMs for that. And then I have those things down below in the bullet points. If you leave class at any time for any reason, you're required to pay 20 EDCMs. And then guess what I don't have happening in my classroom? Not once. Students do not use the cell phone because they do not want 50 EDCMs taken away from them. So again, I am not a cop at all in my classroom. And it's just business, right? The first couple of weeks you get some eye rolls. Then they realize, oh,
Okay.
I have the power. I have all of the power. I choose if I bring out my cell phone. And I just have to pay for it, that's all.
What did you need to get it for? Are you in a meeting?
I should finish at 4, I think. It's 2:30 to 4, if not a little bit.
Oh,
earlier.
so that's just somebody with their mic on, okay. Okay, and then, so this is what they can redeem them for. Attendance flexibility, limited to 3 per semester, so after 2 to 4 absences, they can begin paying $50. So this, I rarely have a student that their grade is gonna be taken back by their attendance because they can pay for it. And then of course, there's flexibility with this. If they're pregnant, of course, we're bound to make an exception there, or if they're out sick. As long as we have a discussion, then I can make some exceptions for them. But I don't make any exceptions except for women that are pregnant until they go out beyond paying for 3, and then we can have a discussion. If they want to get out of some of those bundle summaries, the first bundle summary exception is $500. The second one is $750, right? So they don't want to write. And so students that are trying to earn a C, they don't have to do any major writing in the class at all. Students that want to earn a B, they can get out of major writing. There's some writing required in some of the Blackboard assignments, so they're not getting away with no writing at all. And students that want to earn an A are going to have to do at least 1, right? Not many students take advantage of these options in my course because they're all saving for that, the final exemption. For 1,000 EDCMs, you can be excused from the final paper, which is based on the book that I assigned, Incidents of the Life of a Slave Girl. So this is very empowering for students. This is, to be honest, I think why they come to my class regularly. I rarely have absences and my classes are full and vibrant. Okay. Escape and then go back to the PowerPoint. Okay, and then we do that. All right, oops. Sorry about that, guys. So that was the token-based resubmission, implement a token system giving to students limited chances to resubmit work. Yeah, for the bundle summaries, they want to resubmit. If there's a quiz in Blackboard that they would like to retake, they have to pay money for that. And so that's very helpful. Again, it motivates them to do it right the first time, and if not, well, then they just pay. So for a quiz, it's I believe 5 EDCMs. They retake it, so it's not a huge burden, right? So encouraging strategic effort and continuous improvement, absolutely. And this develops soft skills and truly empowers students. So they're motivated to come on time, they're motivated to stay in class, they're motivated to submit assignments early, and they do. I've got at least 15 students that are have completed bundles 1 through 5, and one student did it within a month. And they're still required to come to class, they got to prepare for the final paper. So it's not as if they're done, but man, their shoulders are down. And then those students are the stars of my class. They're constantly discussing and bringing stuff up. And I rarely get through a lecture because these students keep interrupting me, right? Continually explain the grading process, rubric use and tokens. So this is sort of a drawback, but it is transparent to the student once they get it. It's very easy to tell what it earns, not only what it takes to earn per bundle, what assignments are required for a C, B, or an A, but it's only for a C, you got to show up at least no more than 4 absences. You got to do bundles 1, 2, 4, and 5, and you have to do 1 bundle summary. So very transparent. And then when they open up a bundle, it's very clear what assignments they have to do for that C, for the B, for the A. So tiered bundle assessment, again, I showed you this previously. This is basically what it takes to earn a C, B, or an A per bundle. Assessments, assignments are organized into bundles or tiers, which enable students to achieve various bundled grades through the completion of progressively more challenging tasks. And what's great about this is it mitigates grade inflation. So one of the things that's been frustrating in my teaching career is I've had to kind of dumb down the curriculum, because if I went in fresh out of grad school semester after semester, well, this happened to me when I first started STC teaching. Hopefully Chris Nelson isn't out there. He was my chair at the time. But yeah, a lot of my students failed. Particularly, I came from not in a largely affluent area, but it was upper middle class, and my students had parents that went to college, and they were professionals, and they were 3rd, 4th generation college students. And so I could tell, I could just say, hey, we're going to read this book, you guys are going to write a paper, and no problem, right? I literally, my first semester, said that to students, and they laughed at me. How dare them, right? They laughed at me because no one had ever challenged them that. Well, this says, there are obviously some students that aren't prepared for a college level course. So we have to teach the students that come to us. And there's obviously students that are ready. And so the predicament I've been in is the students that are ready are being held back by the students that aren't, and the students that aren't are being held back by the students that are. Well, now you can just tell, hey, if you are here for a C, no problem, more power to you. That's what I would have done for a math class, right? So just focus on a C, that's it. And the only thing you have to worry about if you're a C student in this class is the due dates are fixed. What I do if a student doesn't meet the, if they don't earn a complete for all of the assignments for a C, in Blackboard, you can go to the roster and block students from Blackboard. And that is a great tool to have. I don't kick them out permanently, but unless they don't come talk to me. But oh boy, they come and talk to you. I don't have access to Blackboard. Good, come in my office, let's talk about it. And then, oh, I didn't realize I had to do that assignment. Yeah, do that assignment and you're no problem. And that's usually only a conversation that happens at the beginning of the semester. Once that happens the first time, then you don't have that conversation anymore. Achieve various bundled grades through completion of progressively more challenging tasks, right? So yeah, now for students that want to earn an A, then it's like, oh boy, here we go. You're gonna have to earn that A, right? And you don't have to focus in it. It's great because those students typically self-identify themselves. I am going for an A. Tell me what I need to do. Well, then just read the bundle documents and you'll know what to do. And they know that, so yeah. So it's basically a choose your own adventure. It's basically what these tiered bundle things are. And these accumulated bundled grades contribute to the final end of the semester letter grade A, B, or C, right? You can use D's if you want, but for me, I find this easier. Benefits for students. It shifts focus from earning points to demonstrating true learning and mastering of content. Again, I don't talk about points with my students. I don't talk about percentages. I rarely talk about grades. We talk about the Arawak. We talk about slavery. We talk about labor. We talk about the two-party system. Those are the conversations I think we all want to have if you're a history instructor. If you're a math instructor, you want to talk about how to add 2 + 2. And beyond that, I don't know what you guys do in math. Increase student ownership and responsibility for their learning progress. Yeah, they fully own it. They know what it takes to earn a C. They know what it takes to earn a B. They know what it takes to earn an A. They own it. It's easy for them to understand. It's not a mystery. They don't have to do the math. So they own it. Reduces cheating. And this is something that I've found. Since the students are empowered and they feel empowered, they are less apt to cheat. They're less apt. I rarely have a plagiarism issue in my courses now. Right? Because it's very ironic because I think the grading system came out to prevent zero-sum thinking, but the pass-fail criteria, complete, not complete, satisfactory, unsatisfactory, binary grading, I think greatly mitigates zero-sum thinking for students. Enhances motivation through transparent grading and clear expectations, of course. They are motivated. Provides detailed description, feedback that helps students understand their performance and areas of improvement. That's where that checklist comes into play. Oh, and I can show you in Blackboard how I do this for online students using a rubric, so remind me to do that. I'll bring that up. There we go. Uh-oh. Okay, let's see what's going on here. All right, benefits for instructors. Yeah, this is a biggie right here. Reduces subjectivity and grading by using clear binary pass-fail criteria for each assignment component. So yeah, you have a clear rubric that's easy for the instructor to read. It's just one column. And it's pass-fail, so you're not going, well, they kind of got this, but they didn't get that. I'll just go ahead and give them the A. Right? It's either complete or not complete. So it doesn't reduce subjectivity, it almost eliminates subjectivity entirely. Decreases grading workload through straightforward assessment rubrics and fewer point-based calculations. Yeah, like I said earlier, grading 180, basically 2-page papers, 45 minutes, sometimes an hour. Right? And that's because, yeah, if there's one thing wrong, then it's not complete, and then I stop reading. So and then it's very easy to tell for students that have completed it, they've got all of the components in there with the single column rubric. Minimizes student complaints and grade negotiations. Yeah. Yeah, and this is a biggie, because you feel like, I mean, you know, apparently our students are adults, but they talk to us as if they're little children. It's like, I am not your mommy and I'm not your daddy, right? Do the assignment, right? Engage with the material. That's all I'm asking you to do. This is a professional relationship. And yeah, students do not complain to me about their grades. They don't talk to me about, I just missed 5 points. Is that really a big deal? It's not even up for discussion because it's not part of the discussion. It's either complete or not complete. So again, we're talking about history rather than points, rather than abstractions. Facilitates easier alignment of course assessments with accreditation requirements and learning outcomes. Yeah, you come up with your own learning outcomes. Right, so if you want them to study the history of slavery, it's very easy to produce an assessment for that. You produce clear writing expectations, the length of it, what sources you want them to consider. So the learning outcome almost just comes organically. Enhances instructor satisfaction by focusing on mastering and learning rather than, again, points and curves. Oops. So yeah, this is empowering for students, it's empowering for instructors. The possible challenges, oops, I didn't have the animation correct there. Developing bundling assessments, resubmission rules, and clear specifications require significant upfront time investment. Using an established course structure can ease this workload. So yeah, let me be upfront. If you're doing this for the first time, I did this last spring. So I did not have a winter break. This is not just tweaking around the edges for a pre-existing curriculum. You got to start over. So that is that's the challenge. So if you're curious about this, you're welcome to use my course as a template, and then you can finesse it. That might save you some time. There's other instructors out there that are working on this kind of stuff, so consult with them as well. If you need some names of these people, I can, if you get a hold of me, I can refer you to some instructors that have implemented this. But yeah, it does take a while to set this up. But it's worth it. It's definitely worth it. And what Carrie Frost told me, it took her about 2 years. About 2 years to come up with basically a script of really effective communication. What I had to do recently, about 2 weeks ago, which students had an opportunity to earn money, EDCMs, is I created an online orientation, mid-semester orientation. So they did that, and I would suggest that if you're doing traditional grading, I would suggest doing that anyway, because students forget, they're taking 4 or 5 other classes, so it's perfectly reasonable that they're getting confused. What does it take to earn an A, B, or C in this course? So that's very helpful to have a mid-semester online orientation that you give them some sort of extra credit, or if you have money, tokens, to offer that money. And the other benefit of the tokens is, I got frustrated with offering extra credit for all of our beautiful presentations we have at this college that almost every academic discipline is offering. Because how do you incorporate it into the gradebook? I've screwed that up endlessly. And man, do students catch you on that. But yeah, I don't record any extra credit. They just write a reaction paper, turn it in, I read it, and then I hand them 50, 100, 200 EDCMs, right? And then students may initially resist or feel confused by this new grading system. It's novel. So yeah, the first week, a lot of confusion, a lot of resistance. So yeah, you're gonna have to continuously explain it for the first 2-3 weeks. Definitely have a video, a pre-recorded video. You want to explain it in class, you want to refer them to the video, give them some incentive for doing so. But continuous explanation of and transparency about the benefits and process are crucial for acceptance. Yeah, let them know. Frame it as this is designed to empower you. You are going to be empowered if you grok this sooner rather than later, because it's meant to be transparent. You know exactly what it takes to earn a C, a B, or an A in this course. And once they do, it's like, oh, wow, this is good. This is good. I wish all my instructors did this. And don't make me be the only one doing this. I want everybody to do this. So, communication and token system. Regularly repeating how grades are earned, how rubrics work, and how tokens enable submissions helps reduce confusion and encourage strategic use of tokens by students. Yeah, this communication is the key, right? I mean, that's what we're paid to do anyway, so this is nothing unexpected. But yeah, and the other challenge too is it's new to you. So it's very easy to be like, oh, and do expect that. I didn't read the book thoroughly. The specification books by, her name is Linda Nilsson, which is on the last slide. And there were things that I left out, and I was like, oh no, oh well. So that was a learning process. By summer though, my 2 courses I was teaching this summer, I was able to implement it. And in this fall semester, it's pretty well dialed in with definitely rooms of improvement. So I see why Carrie Frost said it takes about 2 years. I think, yeah, within 1.5 years or probably by next spring, my courses will be definitely dialed in, and my prep will be almost non-existent semester after semester, except for plugging in due dates, which for me is rare. My wife is going to love that. So setting learning objectives, clear, this is sort of just review, but clear measurable learning objectives that guide assessments and grading criteria. List measurable objectives. Again, what does that mean? Complete or not complete. Pass, fail, whatever term you want to use. Align course outcomes, clear student expectations. Yeah, it's very clear. They're just checking boxes. Develop assessments, design assignments that directly measure learning objectives with focused tasks. Assessment tasks linked to objectives, assessment descriptions, assessment criteria, bundling assessment, group assessments into bundles or tier representing different grade levels of mastery, grading bundles of tiers, A, B, or C. These assignments are C. These assignments, you do everything. That's another thing. To earn a B, you got to do everything that's required for a C student. To earn an A, you got to do everything for the C and the B. Right. So grading bundling tiers, criteria for each bundle, graded pathways. Oops, I got my animation screwed up here. And use binary rubrics. Pass, fail. Single criteria per item or simple consistent grading. Binary pass, fail. Specification sheets. So yeah, getting this a worksheet. Grading guidelines. So resubmissions with tokens. Resubmissions are integrated in the grading system to allow students to improve mastery. Students receive a limited number of tokens representing their allowed submissions or retakes. Right, and again, I do it on an earning basis. Some instructors I've read, they just, here's denominations that add up to 100, and you could use that for whatever, right? Getting out of absences or writing assignments. But the incorporation of tokens is pretty effective if you have them earn it, because it does develop soft skills. My students are not late to my class, and most of them show up regularly. Tokens require students to prioritize which assessments to revise, yeah, based on learning goals and grade impact. Yeah, it really incentivizes them to do it correctly and to really read the instructions, and then to come to me, the instructor, if they are confused at all. So I have, yeah, I'm winning in my department for most students coming to my office. It's just what it is, guys. I'm sorry. It's pretty lonely in your office, not mine. This approach motivates careful planning and effort and reinforcing responsibility and engagement. Yeah, students, because it's transparent, yeah, students now plan ahead. Who would have thought? It's amazing. It truly is revolutionary. Truly I can't express that, can't emphasize that more. Tokens help balance flexibility in learning with maintaining course rigor and schedule. So here are some additional resources that you have available. I put the PowerPoint in the chat when we first began. The book there you see, Specifications and Grading, is kind of the Bible for this, by Linda Nilsson. It's a short read. And what's nice about it is there is an eclectic examples of different academic disciplines. Because I imagine this looks very different to a science instructor, professor. Very different for a math instructor, professor. Very different for English, very different for history, very different for philosophy, and then within those academic disciplines, different for everybody. And so there's different examples of how people approach this. Some people go, they grab everything that is available in this book. Some people just grab one component of this, right? So this is not a template, but it's basically just a variety of tools that you can use to streamline grading, to save yourself some time, and most importantly, to empower your students. Real quick, I promised you to take a look at how it looks for in specification rubrics. Yeah, I think this is it. In an online, what does a rubric look like online with specification grading? Open link. What?
Just a quick announcement, if anyone is interested in the book Sean mentioned, you can go ahead and reach out to the TLC and we can provide you with a copy.
Okay, say that again.
If you're interested in the book that Sean TLC, and we can give you all a copy.
Oh,
Oh, really? I am. And then what did you say that we do? Because I didn't even get.
You can just reach out to me after.
No EDCMs for you.
I'm not in the chat, or I don't know where to access the chat. I
Oh,
went to
no,
Blackboard.
you can just talk to me after.
But like, because you're talking about it, I'm like, what is that chat? I don't see anything in Teams.
So this is what it looks like in Blackboard. Complete or not complete, with a criteria column. Right, so wrote the prompt, responded to the prompts, responded specifically as instructed to the instance of life of a slave girl, chapters 1 through 8, ensured specific references to the subject material. So complete or not complete. The entire page must be within 800 to 1200 words, source integration, ensure sources, blah, 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 right, complete or not complete. But yeah, this is for sources, complete or not complete, 800 words, 1200 words. Specific references, 3 to 5 direct references, 2 to 4 for, I believe that's from primary sources, right? And what the student sees once I click the appropriate boxes there is it's either complete or not complete. That's it. So, what time is it? 3:29. So we've been going for, I've been yammering for an hour. So please, in the chat or you,
How did they?
Colleen, I didn't catch your name, ma'am.
Lourdes Garcia.
Lourdes Garcia, Ms. Garcia. Yeah, you guys have any questions?
Yeah,
Fire
okay, so
away.
how do the EDCMs work for the online class?
I don't do it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm this winter break. I'm gonna mess around with the awards, the badges, and I think I can make it work with the badges. But yeah, I couldn't. I haven't even given that any thought. But yeah, that's my winter project is to see how I can get this because I'm losing a lot in the online class not having the token system. But I think that'll greatly help. But yeah, I think it can be easily done with the badges, the achievements, I think it's referred to. Yeah, any other questions? Any questions in the chat? No? You guys got it all? Wow, I'm pretty good at this.
I was gonna ask something about handling papers, but I don't.
And what do you teach?
Art.
Art, okay,
No,
yeah.
but art appreciation.
Art
So
appreciation,
there's some
this will
writing
work, yeah.
discussions, yes.
Yeah, this will work for, I'm confident this works with any subject. And It's just, yeah, it does take a little bit of work on the back end. But after 2 years, I think it'll pay off. I foresee myself doing very little prep.
Now I know what I'm gonna ask. Okay, what about the handwriting? Because you're asking about handwriting, which is perfect. I always thought about that.
Yeah.
Since AI
Mhm.
and all that. What happened when the handwriting is like unreadable?
That could be a problem.
What would you do?
We'll put it-
Has it happened?
Put it in the rubric that your handwriting has to be clear.
No, okay.
And so, and then you can suggest to them, hey, if you need to utilize 6, 7, 8 pages, you need to write big, do that. But if I can't read it, then I'm not going to read it. Just make it clear, one of the boxes, your handwriting must be clear and readable. I have had students who have disabilities, and then it's very easy. Okay, then you just take a proctored exam, right?
What?
A proctored exam using, what do we call that? It's not respondus, it's whatever it's called. Yeah, honor lock, yeah, thank you.
Oh, okay.
Which is, yeah, if you don't, well, I won't say don't, but I highly suggest, again, don't require students to upload documents. At the very least, even if it's just for 2 sentences, honor lock, right? We're just asking for trouble if you say upload a document. If I was a student today, I'm definitely using AI, right? And that is, you know, we know the tragedy of that, they're not engaging with the content. Yeah, any other questions? This is your chance. You don't get opportunities to meet with me like this often. So this is being recorded, and so we'll distribute this widely. And do reach out to me if you have any questions. I'm a big nerd about this. Just ask my colleagues in the history department. I'd love to talk about this. I'll meet you. We can meet over Zoom. You can meet me at my office. We can do a telephone call. Zoom is nice because then we could share screens, and so I can look at what you got going on Blackboard, and I can easily show you what I got going on Blackboard. But I'm very open to spending my time. Fridays, I'm typically available all day. Monday, Wednesdays after 11:30, typically I'm available. Just email me, and we can arrange a time. Anything else I'm leaving out? I don't think so.
Is there anything new that you implemented this semester?
The bundle summaries I implemented, that was new. I fine-tuned some of the EDCMs. Yeah, the last spring, I had it for every single assignment. If you submitted every single assignment early, you got EDCMs, and now it's just for the bundle. So there's usually anywhere from 3 to 8 assignments for a C, or a B. You know, there's another 2 assignments. For an A, it's typically another 1 or 2 assignments. So it's the entire bundle. You got to turn it in. So if it's due on November 21st, you got to turn it in by the 20th, and you either get 50, 100, or 150 EDCMs. So yeah, don't do it for every single assignment, because the beginning of class, you know, it's hard to get started because you're passing out all sorts of money to students, which was good. They're submitting their assignments really, but it made it difficult to keep track of. Other than that, I don't think so. Yeah, everything else, I was just fine tuning basically. Yeah. Well, if there aren't any questions, then we could call it a day. So do get a hold of me if you do have questions. If you have any follow-up, you want to meet with me, I am all in. And You guys are my disciples, so spread the good news, and let's make this part of the college culture. We will empower our students, and we'll empower our faculty, and we will contribute to our beloved community. Ciao.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.